531 PI.
You're listening to Pacific Mornings on 531 PI. I'm William Terite. It's great to be in your company this Thursday, the 13th of November. It's 7:32. We'd love to hear from you. Pacific Mornings at pmn.co.nz, on our Facebook page 531 PI, and of course the old school way, the text machine 531, left, right, centre and between. You know I love it all. All right, let's turn our attention now to CCS Disability Action, New Zealand's largest pan-disability organisation supporting people and whānau since 1935. They've long championed inclusion, advocacy and equal access for all. And, of course, their focus as well on the Pacific community. Now, a special fono in Hamilton this month aims to bring together Pacific families, disability advocates and service providers to strengthen connections and shared experiences as well. Tilomai Solia is a service manager and joins us now to tell us more about that event. A very good morning to you.
Morning, William.
Thank you so much.
Mai se ui lātou lo mai moa, ma whawhonga I tātou po Kalambi. Ma lo lava le sui fō ma le langi mamā. O lo wingoa Tilomai Solia, te sau mai le nuu o whale alupo ma whastouta.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning and appreciate that as well. Look, I want to first start off with, you guys held a fono in Auckland last time, and it brought together some Pacifica voices and the disability space. I'm keen to get an idea of what the key takeaways or outcomes from that fono.
Thanks, William. So the Auckland fono really highlighted three things. First, our Pacifica families want services that truly reflect our values, things like offer, alofa, love, and wā relationships. Second, the barriers are real and practical. Transport, housing and clear information in our languages are still major challenges. And third, the strength of our Pacifica community is undeniable. Churches and cultural groups are trusted spaces, and people want those spaces to play a bigger role in disability support. It was a powerful reminder that solutions must be culturally grounded and community driven.
Indeed. And with that being said, and you've kind of highlighted this in some ways, but let's dig a wee bit deeper into it. What gaps or priorities from that event are you hoping to bring up again in Hamilton, or perhaps even address?
So one big gap is information. Families simply don't know what supports exist or how to access them. We also heard about the urgent need for interpreters and culturally safe communication. Housing and transport remain top priorities, and we need to create real employment pathways for Pacifica peoples with disabilities. Once all the fonos have been completed, there'll be a strong focus on how to scale up community-led solutions, especially through churches and local networks.
And I guess, why is it important that these fonos are happening across different regions and not just in the main centres where I think inevitably some of these things always happen to be at?
Absolutely. Because Pacifica disability doesn't stop at city boundaries. Regional voices matter too, and sometimes barriers in rural areas can be even greater with fewer services and more isolation. These fonos make every Pacifica family, no matter where they live, has a say in shaping the strategy. And I wish we had the funding to make these fono a national roadshow, but unfortunately we don't. So for now, we'll be in Auckland, Hamilton and Wellington. But what is important is equity and building trust through face-to-face engagement in spaces that feel familiar and safe.
Indeed, I just want to pick up on that funding, what you just said there, refunding. Particularly at government level, do you feel like there's enough support at the moment?
Well, given the current climate change in the disability sector, it's made it really difficult. And even in mainstream, there's a lot, there could always be more, but this is one of the reasons why we're having these fonos, these consultation fonos, to engage in how we can do things differently with what we have. And
based on, because as has been highlighted in the intro, it supports equal access for all, the organisation you work for. Are they the same issues between different communities that you speak to, or does it kind of transcend and, they're all similar issues? Or is, the Pacific has its own very specific set of challenges?
You might have heard that saying, same, but different. So whether it be Pākehā, whether it be Fijian, whatever cultural background, same disability, we live in the same country, but it is different because of the culture. And our culture makes it different. Like within our own families, we have different responsibilities. We have family responsibilities. We send money home. We have church obligations, something that mainstream or Pākehā don't have. So
yeah, interesting. Okay, and so with that being said, kind of how do we ensure that Pacifica perspectives are genuinely helping to shape, say, national disability strategies, and it's not just, and not to be facetious, it's not just a token gesture?
Sure. Thanks for asking this question, William, because I want to be really clear with my answer. We are committed to embedding Pacifica values in the design of services, not just in conversation. And this means growing a Pacifica workforce, creating leadership roles, and making sure engagement is ongoing and not one-off. We're also working with churches, elders, and cultural groups as co-design partners. This isn't about ticking a box. It's about building a strategy that feels like it was written by and for our Pacifica communities.
And has there been much shift in terms of, bringing in Pacifica values into this space over the years? Are we seeing tangible movement there, or is there still a long road ahead?
It's definitely a long road ahead, and I just want to touch on how this group came about at CCS Disability Action. We have, for CCS Disability Action, we have the Māori Leadership Framework, we have the Disabled Leadership Framework, and the Quality Leadership Framework. We don't have a Pacifica Leadership Framework. So last year, a group of Pacifica staff from Auckland and Wellington got together. We engaged with an external source to help us brainstorm in what these values look like. We're fortunate we have lived experience within our working group, and we came up with 4 values, and the 4 values that we came up with was love, service, equity, health and well-being. And what we've done is we've taken it out to these fono, these gatherings, consultations, to get their feedback. And Auckland highlighted that they agreed with 3 of them, but they wanted to add another one. And it was God, faith. And we're expecting the same in Hamilton. So we're not experts, and this is the whole purpose of this consultation, is engaging with our Pacifica disabled communities. What are the values of our Pacifica people?
And picking up on that point in terms of what are the values, what kind of stories or experiences have been shared, say at that fono in Auckland, from members of our community that have stayed with you, or ultimately, what are the stories?
It was quite humbling, William, to listen to some of the stories, and I'd just like to highlight probably 3 that really stood out for our working group. One that really stayed with me personally was a grandparent caring for a disabled grandchild without any formal support, and when funding stopped, the grandparent said, "Oh, we just pray now." Another story that really stayed with me was from a mother who had been the primary caregiver for her 32-year-old disabled son. And she spoke about providing his personal cares day in and day out. But what broke my heart was her voice crack as she shared how her other children sometimes felt neglected and unloved. And through her tears, she said, "They don't understand. He's sick, so he needs me more." It was such a raw and honest moment that showed immense love and sacrifice, but also a heavy emotional toll families carry. Another one was family waiting years for accessible housing, forced to accept something unsuitable because they had no choice. And then you get the quiet stories, people saying, "I'm fine," while struggling because pride or fear stops them from asking for help. Now, these stories remind us why this work matters.
Indeed, powerful. Look, just before we wrap it up, let's talk about that fono more specifically in terms of how people can perhaps head along, when it is, and do you need to sign up? Tell us more.
Absolutely. So the next fono is held in Hamilton, and we're so fortunate that we've got, again, engaging with our cultural church leaders. So sunga whawhiangainga toa ina anatu rupena marifale tua. They're the parishioners for the Whaiwhiao for Congregational Christian Church of Samoa, 51 Greenwood Street, Frankton, Hamilton. So there's a registration process that people can sign up if they go on our CCS website, and then they can enter in their details, and they're quite specific, whether they require an interpreter, whether they require sign language interpreter, even if they require specific accessible supports. And the beauty of it, like we had in Auckland, is that we don't want anyone to miss out. So some families have children that have a disability, but the parents want to attend. So what our awesome Hamilton branch have done is that they're providing staff that can look after the children while the parents fully participate in our discussions and breakout sessions.
Cool. All right, well, hey, thank you very much for your time this morning and for sharing that as well. We really appreciate it. You have a lovely rest of your day.
You too. Whakataitele lawa, William. Thank you.
Thank you.